Do you have to live in the United States to take advantage of having a leveraged wealth account or one of these whole life, high cash value life insurance policies? The answer is really it depends. The requirements that everyone has in terms of the insurance world, they vary a bit, but here are the major bullet points. One, you need to have a U.S. bank account. This is going to be where and how you fund the policy, the contributions you make. And if you take any kind of policy loans, that's where it's going to be deposited. Everything's electronic. The second major piece is you need to have some sort of identification linking your relationship to the United States. It could be a social security card, it could be a green card, something like that. The third major hurdle that the insurance company wants to tackle is really the question of what country are you spending your time in outside of the United States? So every country, for the most part, has kind of a risk rating that they put together. And this essentially will determine how safe they think that country is. And it's just a rating scale based on things like war, famine, other diseases, and just other kind of exterior controlled factors that will make your life basically, more of a risk. Essentially, they are covering your well-being, your life. So they have to check those sort of things. So, for instance, if you're spending time in like Australia or in England or something like that, those are pretty low risk countries that should not be an issue for you. If you get into some of the more war-torn countries, some things in the Middle East, there can be problems the insurance company could have with you being there, being that there's already ongoing conflict or there's disease issues or something like that. Therefore, they're typically pretty high in terms of ratings, and you may even see insurance companies actually disqualify you or not approve you for a plan during application because you're in one of these high risk situations. And it has to do with how much time you're going to spend there as well. So technically you can, although it's a little more hoops to jump through if you want to look at it that way. The last piece to really look at is when you're going through underwriting. And so sometimes insurance companies will require you to do a medical exam. And so that would be blood work, there's typically a urine sample as well, and they may ask for a physical and they'll run all that through. The medical exam itself has to happen in the United States. So you don't necessarily have to be living here technically, but that exam will have to be done. If they set it up for you, that would have to be done in the U.S. Or if you set up yourself, they'll ensure that it was done in U.S. borders. And the last piece is in terms of signing the physical application. Believe it or not, most of the stuff's all done by e-signing now, electronic signature. But you'll actually have to be in the US for that as well. So even if you live in Canada or Mexico or something, you'll have to actually be in the United States when you physically sign. Even if it's electronic, they'll be able to track that back to ensure that you were in the United States when you signed up. So there are some limits in place. It is possible to get one if you live outside of the States, but those are sort of the bullets that you need to stay within.